Hello children, how are you all? Hope you all are fine and doing well. Dear children, in this particular session we are going to start mathematical tools. So these concepts are very important for the students who are preparing for AEEE, that is a JEE Mains and even advanced, and a NEET even for MSET also, dear children. So under these mathematical tools, dear children, we are going to learn main 4 concepts. In that, the first one is fundamental graphs, which we will be discussing. I mean, what are the types of graphs or which are very useful in our physics to make the concept more easy. That's the first one. And the second one is we will be discussing about differentiations. Third one is integrations. And the fourth one is, that is nothing but what? Trigonometric ratios. That is trigonometric identities and their relations. So first we will start our class with fundamental graphs. Children, under this fundamental graphs, actually, what are the main graphs which we are going to discuss? And one more very important thing is, dear children, even you will be learning graphs in mathematics also. But in physics, we don't go that much depth, how much you will learn in mathematics. So what are the concepts, till what extent the knowledge of graphs is needed, that much only we will discuss. So under this graphs, dear children, mainly we are going to talk about straight line. Next, rectangular hyperbola. Next, we will be talking about parabola. Then we will discuss about circle, ellipse. Then we will be discussing about trigonometric ratios. There we will discuss graphs for sin theta and cos theta mainly. And finally, we will be talking about exponential. How the exponential graphs will be, what are the properties, and how can we obtain exponential graphs. And particularly, children, in this session we cannot cover all these things. So these things makes a big session. So that's what we are not going to cover all these actually. In today particularly we are going to talk about straight line. So we will start our session with straight line. So we will discuss first about straight line. Dear children, under this straight line, 3 things which we are going to discuss, very important. First one is slope. So what is the slope of a straight line? I mean, how can we calculate the slope of a straight line? What if slope is 0? What if slope is negative? What if slope is positive? What if slope is negative? That is positive, negative, 0 and infinity we will discuss. Means how the graphs are going to be for this. That is the first one which we are going to discuss. The second one is we are going to discuss about Y-Intercept. What is actually Y-Intercept? Can it be a positive? Can it be 0? Can it be negative? So they are the things which we are going to cover under Y-Intercept. And third point which we are going to talk about, equations of straight line. So what are the possible equations for a straight line, and how the graphs will be for a different equations for a straight line, how the different graphs will be. So these are the things which we are going to cover. So here under this straight line, as I told you that first we will talk about slope of the graph. Let us see here. Under this, the first one is slope of the graph. Slope of the graph. Dear children, so here if the straight line is making an angle theta with positive x-axis, let us say positive x-axis theta. Dear children, here 2 conditions are there. It's very important. It's very important. Always angle must be taken from positive x-axis. That's the first condition. The second condition is that you must take in anti-clockwise direction only. Anti-clockwise direction means in anti-clockwise direction angle will be positive, whereas in a clockwise direction angle will be negative. So once again let me tell you, if this straight line is making an angle theta with a positive x-axis, then how can we calculate slope for this particular straight line? So for that, dear children, let us take any 2 points. For suppose, let us say here is a point A, let us take here is a point B. Just assume any 2 points. That point can be origin also. So here, okay, this is angle, okay, let it be. So this will be x1 value, whereas this will be x2 value. And here for this x1, this will be y1 and this is going to be y2. Slope is equal to, we can calculate is y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1, x2 minus x1. Children, look at here. So with this, can we make a triangle? Of course, we can make a triangle. Look at here. This is a triangle. Let us take A, B, C is a triangle. This is what is, children? It is nothing but x2 minus x1. That is a dx. So this value is dx. What about this BC? This is going to be y2 minus y1. This is going to be dy. It is dy. It is. Now, dear children, this angle is theta only. This angle is theta only. Now, try to understand, dear children. So, y2 minus y1 we can write like this. That is dy, change in y value. x2 minus x1 can be written as dx. This is slope is equal to dy by dx. And here one important thing which we have to notice. Try to understand. Dy is what, dear children, in this triangle ABC. Try to notice here. Try to understand here. BC is what? Opposite side. Dy by dx is nothing but what, dear children? Tan theta. So this is going to be tan theta. So that's what, dear children, a slope is equivalent to the tan theta. This is what very important. Children, this slope can be 0. Slope can be positive, slope can be negative, even slope can be infinity. So these are the 4 cases now which we are going to discuss. So slope is equal to, we got it as a tan theta. So look at here, theta. So let us highlight this. So slope is equal to tan theta. So with the help of this only, now we are going to discuss some special cases under this. So let us see, dear children. So case A here. If theta is equal to 0, if theta is equal to 0, so what will be the slope and how the graph is going to be? It's very important. Children, theta is equal to 0 means we know that slope is equal to tan theta. So let us write here. Slope is equal to tan theta, we know that, but theta is equal to 0 degrees. So this can be tan 0 degrees. So tan 0 is equal to how much, dear children? It is a 0 only. So here slope is equal to 0. So when the angle is 0, slope is 0, which means what, dear children? We will get a straight line which is parallel to the x-axis. There won't be any inclination at all. So what is the straight line which we will get? Parallel to the x-axis we will get. So like this. Slope will get like this. So straight line which get. Of course, it can be on negative y-axis also. So this is how actually we will get a straight line. If the angle is theta, if angle is 0 degrees, if the angle is 0 degrees, dear children, slope also 0 only. When the slope is 0 means what? We will get a straight line which is parallel to the, of course we are talking about straight line only, and it is always parallel to the x-axis. Here is a case 1. It is a case 1 which we discussed. Now let us see what happens case B. If theta is equal, let us not take 90 degrees, let us take this. If theta is greater than 0 and less than 90 degrees, that is what we are going to take a acute angle. What is this acute angle called? It's acute angle. So here theta is like 0 degrees in between 0 and 90. If theta is 0 and 90 degrees means the theta value is greater than 0 and less than 90 degrees. Then what our slope is going to be? How the graph of that particular slope for this value? Let us see once. Children, the angle is between 0 and 90 degrees means what actually? So the possible angles, of course, possible means it can be 1, 2, 3, up to 18 and you can take. But the main important angles which we will be discussing about 30 degrees, 45 degrees, 60 degrees. So 30 degrees, which we will discuss, 60 degrees which we will discuss. So now the very important thing is that, children, slope is nothing but what actually? Tan theta. Slope is nothing but what actually? Tan theta. Now let us try to calculate the tan 36 degrees. So we all know that here is tan 30 degrees is how much, dear children? It is 1 by root 3 and this is 1 and here is root 3. So here values are not important, try to understand here. So 1 by root 3, 1 root 3 is not that. If you can notice here, these all are positive values. Which means what? If the angle is acute, then tan values are going to be positive. As tan values are going to be positive means what, children? Slope also going to be positive. Means this is what actually. So, slope is equal to tan theta. This is going to be positive only. So, if the angle is acute, then slope of the straight line is going to be positive. Now, let us see how the graph will be for this. Means the straight line must lie in a first quadrant only, because it is 0 degrees, it is 90. Try to understand the children. So, in between 0 and 90 only, right? In between 0 and 90. So, the angle you must take like this in anti-clockwise direction. This is a theta. This is a theta. This is a very important. So, this is how actually a graph is going to be a C. So, what if angle is 90 degrees? That is, theta is 90 degrees. If theta is 90 degrees, what is going to be? Let us see here. So, children, we know that here is slope is tan theta. So, here theta is 90 degrees. That is, here is tan 90. So, tan 90 is what is infinity. Tan 90 is infinity. So, if the angle is 90 degrees, then it is going to be, slope is going to be infinity. 90 degrees means what, dear children? Children, so very important, which you have to remember. What is that? Angle is always measured from the positive x-axis. So, theta is 90 degrees means what here? The straight line must be perpendicular to the x-axis. So, how the graph is going to be? Look at here. So, this is how. So, this is 90 degrees. This is 90 degrees. So, this is how actually graph will be if theta is 90 degrees. If the theta is 90 degrees, then slope is going to be infinity. Just copy this. We are going to discuss about the last case under this. Now, we will discuss what if angle is greater than 90 degrees and less than 180 degrees. That is case D. So, that is theta is going to be in between 90 degrees and 180 degrees. That is, it's an obtuse angle. So, we discussed for acute angle. Now, we are going to discuss obtuse angle. That is, angle theta is greater than 90 degrees and less than 180 degrees. Children, it is going to be lie in a second quadrant. That is very important. Now, look at here, children. So, for this, what are the possible angles actually which we will discuss generally? So, we will discuss 120 degrees, 150 degrees. So, for this, just let us try to calculate, try to know tan 120 is how much. So, we all know that tan 120 is E. So, what you have to notice? So, for these values, tan is going to be negative. Completely it is going to be negative. So, we know that slope of the straight line, is equivalent to tan theta. And tan values in this second quadrant all are negative only. So, which means what? Slope is going to be negative. It's very important. So, if the angle is obtuse, that is greater than 90 degrees and less than 180 degrees, the slope of the straight line is going to be negative. Then how the graph will be going to be like this? This is how actually we will get a graph. But children, many students, they will take here angle means this we will take. No, it is wrong. So, the straight line, already we discussed, the straight line will make an angle theta with positive x-axis in anti-clockwise direction. So, you cannot take this, So, how we should take? So, this is what actually you should take angle. So, this is how actually we will get a graph. It's a very important. So, if the angle is lying in between 90 degrees and 180 degrees, the slope of the straight line is going to be negative, and that slope, the straight line is lying in a second quadrant. Any straight line which is drawn parallel to this line will have negative slope only. For suppose, let us draw one more thing like this. Let us take here is the graph which I am making parallel to this. So, some students, they will think that it is touching on positive x-axis. So, the slope is positive. No, it is not that actually, children. So, here angle will decide. So, this is obviously it is going to be greater than 90. And obviously it is a less than 180. So, any line, let me make one more line also parallel to this. These all angles are greater than 90 degrees and less than 180 degrees. So this is how actually the slope is going to be negative and the resultant graphs will be going to be like this. Just copy it. Now the second point under straight line which we are going to discuss is y-intercept. Y-intercept is 0. What if y-intercept is positive? What if y-intercept is negative? And how the graphs are going to be, we are going to see. So first of all, let us think what actually a y-intercept is. So what can we call, how can we define y-intercept? It's a very simple. In a simple terms, y-intercept is defined as the length on y-axis which is cut by the straight line. I repeat once. So whenever we get a straight line, sometimes what happens, the straight line may cut at a certain point on y-axis. So that point from that origin only, we can call it as a y-intercept. In a simple terms, I'll tell you in simple terms. So look at here. So here is, let us say, x-axis. Here is a y-axis. For suppose here is 1, 2, something like this. Let us take a 3. Or else this is -1, it is -2, something like this. So here, for suppose this is what actually we got a graph, so that it is passing through point 3, which means what here, this straight line is cutting the y-axis at a point 3. So this we can take as a y-intercept. So y-intercept usually will represent with the letter C. So here y-intercept is 3. For suppose if it is passing through like this, so where it is cutting, literally that straight line may cut positive y-axis or a negative y-axis, whatever it may be, that we have to take from the origin. From this origin, if you can see, now this will be the y-intercept. This will be the y-intercept. It's very simple. So what is a y-intercept, dear children? The length on y-axis which is cut by the straight line, is called y-intercept. Now here we have 3 special cases which we have. Let us see, dear children. Case A. So if y-intercept is 0, what does it mean? How the graph will be? Let us see. If C is equal to 0, then how the graphs are going to be? Look at here. So let us make here negative y-axis. Dear children, for suppose here, so C is equal to 0 means what, dear children? First of all, C is equal to 0 means, look at here in this diagram only. For example, let me make one more like this. It is going like this. So okay, so for this C is equal to 3, for this C is equal to 2, for this C is equal to 1. Then C is equal to 0 means what, dear children? So there is no length on y-axis which is cut by straight line, which means what? Straight line is passing through the origin. So then the straight line can be like this also, means like this. So this also can be. So this is passing through the origin. So as it is passing through the origin, dear children, what is a y-intercept? Y-intercept is 0. And it can be, so in all these cases, intercept is 0 only. But did you notice one very important thing? What about slope in these 4 cases? Very important, children. So here y-intercept is 0 in this first case. Y-intercept is 0 because it passes through the focus, or it's because it's y-intercept is 0, so that it passes through the origin. Children, can we think any way? Because it is passing through the origin, so its y-intercept is 0. Or we can say that because its y-intercept is 0, so it must pass through the origin. So here y-intercept is 0. At the same time, its slope also 0 only. First case, slope also 0 only. Whereas in the second case, dear children, here, if you can look at here, y-intercept is 0, no doubt about, because it is passing through the origin. And look at here, this straight line is making this angle, and this angle is less than 90 degrees. It is acute angle. So as it is acute angle, dear children, M is positive, M is positive. Means here, this is a straight line with a 0 intercept, positive slope. This is a straight line with 0 y-intercept and 0 slope. And look at here, third one. Look at third one. Here, y-intercept is 0, no doubt about it. Y-intercept is 0. But what about slope? So here angle is 90 degrees. As angle is 90 degrees, slope is equal to tan theta. Tan 90 is, it is infinity. So here slope is infinity. Slope is infinity. Then come to this one. So here we know that's very clear. It's very clear that here y-intercept is 0, no doubt about it. Y-intercept is 0. But what about slope here? Look at here, this is an angle we should take like this, as we discussed earlier. So this angle. So this angle is greater than 90 and less than 180. So it is lying in a second quadrant. In the second quadrant, tan theta is negative. That is, slope is negative here. So see, y-intercept is 0. At the same time, here slope is negative. Slope is negative. Okay, children. So this what actually y-intercept is, and what if y-intercept is 0? Just copy it. Now we will see the case of like positive, like if y-intercept is positive, how the graph will be. Let us see. It's a case B. Under this, case B. Case B. So we are discussing C is positive, y-intercept is positive. So if y-intercept is positive, how the graph will be, and related slope also we will see once. Here is children, negative x-axis. Negative x. Look at here, if the graph is passing like this, for suppose, here is, this is what actual, like this, it is cut. It is cut. Now try to concentrate on the point on y-axis where straight line is cutting. It's very, very important. So this is a point. It is a point. For suppose it is 1. For suppose it is 1, 2, 3, something like that. So now what is the value of here, the point where this straight line is cutting? 2. Is it plus 2 or minus 2? Obviously it's a plus 2 only. So here intercept is positive here. Y-intercept is positive. Then what about slope in this case? What about slope in this case? It's very, very, very important. What about slope in this case? Rachel, look at here. So here many students are again getting confused. They will take angle here like this, and they will think that it is greater than 90 degrees, less than 135, and slope is a negative, they will think. But it is wrong. Why? Already we discussed that. How can we take angle? Angle always must be taken from positive x-axis in anti-clockwise direction. I repeat once again, angle must be taken from positive x-axis, in anti-clockwise direction. So this is wrong way of taking it is. So we should take like this. So this is how actually we should take the angle. Then this will be less than 90 degrees. It is an acute angle. It is an acute angle. So this is what actually y-intercept, positive y-intercept it is. Positive y-intercept with positive slope. So here y-intercept is positive, and even here slope also positive only. Slope also positive. Why? Here the angle made by the straight line with the positive x-axis is acute angle, that is less than 90 degrees and greater than 0 degrees. This is a one case where y-intercept is positive. And you should look at, have a look here to y-axis. Children, what if like this, a straight line is cutting like this, So here is origin. So at every point in every graph we must put it is origin only. So for suppose it is 1, it is 2, it is 3, it is 4, something like that. First try to find the y-intercept for a given graph. Now here, at what point the straight line is cutting the y-axis? 2. Is it plus 2 or minus 2? Obviously plus 2 only. So C value is positive here. So y-intercept is positive. y-intercept is positive, that is fine. Y-intercept is positive. Then what about slope in this case, dear children? Look at here. So this is a point. So from where we should take angle? From positive x-axis in anti-clockwise direction. So this is what actually we should take. And don't you think that it is a obtuse angle? That is, this angle is greater than 90 and less than 180. Then slope is negative. Slope. So in this case, slope is negative. So look at here. This is the beauty of this topic here, teacher. So look at here. So here in this case, y-intercept is positive, slope is positive. Whereas here y-intercept is positive, but whereas slope is negative. Slope is negative. Am I clear, teacher? Let's copy it. Now we will see what if y-intercept is negative and how the related graph will be. So here is case C, let us say. Case C, we are saying y-intercept is negative. So when y-intercept is negative, this is very important. So to get y-intercept negative, how the straight line cut the y-axis. So here also we have again two cases. Let us see, children. Here is negative x-axis. So here y-intercept should be negative, which means what? The straight line should cut the negative y-axis. Should cut the negative y-axis. For suppose it is, let us say, -1, -2, -3, can be anything. Okay, now. So look at it, such a that we got a graph like this. Like this. This is what actually straight line which we got. Straight line. So look at here. Now what is the y-intercept value here? -2. It is a -2. So as it is a -2, we can say the y-intercept is negative only. But what about slope in this case, dear children? Look at here. Slope means how to find out? So from positive x-axis means like this. Anti-clockwise direction we should take. So this will be. So if you can see, it is obtuse angle. Obtuse angle. Then slope also negative only. Negative only. So this is a straight line for which y-intercept is negative and at the same time slope also negative only. Slope also negative only. And here y-axis, children. Now here is, let us say, as usual it is a -1, it is -2, it is -3. So look at here. Here we got a straight line such a way that it is cutting like this. Look at here. This is how actually we got a graph. We got a graph. So here now let's look at this y-intercept, where the straight line is cutting the what y-axis, dear children? Negative y-axis at a -2. So C is equal to -2. That is y-intercept is negative. Then what about slope? So this is what actually slope is. So always from positive x-axis in anti-clockwise direction. Children, you have to repeat again and again so that it will be fixed in your mind that angle should be taken from positive x-axis in anti-clockwise direction, and this is less than 90 degrees. It is less than 90 degrees. As it is less than 90 degrees, dear children, the slope is positive only. So this is a case where C is negative, that is y-intercept is negative, but slope is positive. Slope is positive. Try to understand. So this is a straight line with a negative intercept, negative slope. But whereas it is the straight line with negative intercept and positive slope. This is very important. And children, now we will see what are the equations of straight line. What are the equations of straight line and how the graphs are going to be. It's very important. Let us see here. Equations of straight line. Dear children, what is a common equation for a straight line? It is common equation for a straight line. Dear children, if m be the slope and C is a y-intercept, C is a y-intercept, then we have slope-intercept form for that straight line. What is that, dear children? So we have this y is equal to mx plus c. So y is equal to mx plus c. So this is a slope-intercept form of a straight line. Slope-intercept form of a straight line. Now with the help of this only, we are going to get multiple forms. We are going to get multiple equations for a straight line. It's very, very, very important. Look at here, dear children. How many types of straight line which we are going to look at here? Means in a different forms, in a different cases, I can say that. For the same equation, we will be getting a different cases. For different cases, we will be obtaining the different graphs, and how can we find out the y-intercept and how can we find out the slope also very, very important. Look at here, dear children. So the first one, what we are going to get here. What if C is equal to 0 in this equation? C is equal to 0. So if C is equal to 0, dear children, then we are going to get y is equal to mx. Y is equal to mx also, it's a straight line only. But y-intercept is 0 means what? It passes through the origin. It passes through the origin. C is negative. C is negative. Then here is y is equal to minus c. Y is equal to minus c. So dear children, these all are the special cases. We can see that means these all are equations of straight line only. These all are equations of straight line only in a different cases. That's it. Now we will see how the graphs are going to be for these 9 special cases. We will see once again. So we will see one by one. We will see the one by one. So let us take a first one, dear children. This is the first one. So C is equal to 0 and y is equal to mx. So for y is equal to mx we are saying. So we will get a graph like this. So that here is the angle. It's a theta. So for y is equal to mx means what, dear children? The straight line which passes through the origin with a positive slope. Whereas let us take the second case, that is m is equal to 0, so that y is equal to c. Now slope is 0 means what, dear children? The straight line must be parallel to the x-axis, like this, parallel to the x-axis. So this is going to be y-intercept to c. Now third equation, if you can take the third equation, both m and c both are 0 only. As both are dear children 0, then y is equal to 0. Dear children, y is equal to 0 means what actually? That particular straight line must coincide with the x-axis. That's it. Means this is what actually we will get a graph. Slope is 0 and y-intercept is 0. Dear children, slope is 0, which means what? It must pass through the origin. That's it. Sorry, y-intercept is 0. Y-intercept is 0 means it must pass through the origin. And the slope is 0 means what? It should be parallel. It should be parallel to the x-axis. So parallel to the x-axis and passing through origin means what? It must coincide with the x-axis. Otherwise, there is no option. Okay. So this is the third case. Now look at here. We will see the case 4 here. In case 4, if you can see, y is equal to mx plus c. Y is equal to mx plus c. In order to understand this, let us take example so that it will be very easy. Example, y is equal to some 2x plus 3, something like this. So here for this, so as y-intercept, so just compare these two equations. Then y-intercept is 3. So the straight line must cut at 3 on positive y-axis. So this is what actually. Yes, this is what actually we will get a graph. Is it right? Is it correct? It is wrong. Why it is wrong? Here you need to think about slope also. So here c is equal to 3, but m is positive. So in this case it is going to be negative. So this is wrong. It is wrong. It is wrong graph. Then how to get? Look at graph like this. This is what actually. So this should be 3. Now look at here. This is an angle. It is acute angle. So here is straight line is cutting on positive y-axis at 3. So y-intercept is 3 with positive slope. So this is what actually y is equal to mx plus c, dear children. So this is a equation of straight line with a slope m and with the y-intercept c. Just copy it. Now we'll see the rest of the cases and how the graphs are going to be. Look at here. So next one is fifth case. So it is y is equal to mx minus c. So it's very clear that here, let us take an example so that it's very clear to us to understand actually. So here example let us take here, that is y is equal to 2x minus 3. So for this let us try to make a graph. So before that just compare these two equations. Then here if you can compare m is 2, that is slope is going to be positive and c is going to be negative, that is a minus 3. As slope is going to be positive, dear children, definitely it should lie in a, where that should lie in a first quadrant only. It's a very important. It should lie in a first quadrant only. Look at here. Means it's not a compulsory to lie in a first quadrant, but the angle must be acute. Graph is going to be. So it is cutting at a minus 3. So that y-intercept is minus 3, that is a negative. And here it is acute angle. So the slope is going to be positive. So this is how actually we will get a graph for this y is equal to mx minus c. Now let us take a next case, dear children. That is case 6. Sixth case. And here we got in sixth case y is equal to minus mx plus c. Y is equal to minus mx plus c. So let us take an example. Y is equal, example is compulsory to understand easily, in easy manner. Y is equal to minus 2x plus 3. Y is equal to minus 2x plus 3. Compare these two equations. Then in the place of m, what is there actually? Means minus 2. Means try to understand. Means here it is negative. Slope is negative. Here slope is negative. That is slope is minus 2. That is a negative. But whereas c is equal to 3, that is a positive value. Means y-intercept is positive here, whereas slope is negative. Then look at here. Here is this how actually it cuts. The graph is going to be. So it is 3. So this is y-intercept here, it is 3. Okay. And this is going to be the angle. So no doubt about it, it is a obtuse angle. So that angle as it is greater than 90 degrees, less than what we can say 180 degrees, then slope is going to be negative. So this is how actually we will get a graph for y is equal to minus mx plus c. Then what we have, look at that 8th one here. What 7th one we are missing. We will see that 7th case where it is, I think both are negative. In the 7th case both are negative, that is slope is negative and at the same time y-intercept also negative only. So here is 8th one. In 8th one it is given that y is equal to minus mx minus c. So example, let us compare with y is equal to minus 2x minus 3. So dear children, so here slope is negative, but whereas even y-intercept also negative, that is minus 3. So for this origin, so here try to understand where that straight line should cut, dear children, at minus 3. And there should be some slope. I think some children may get one doubt, sir, why can't it be like this? Of course, here for this y-intercept is minus 3 only. But what about slope? Slope is 0 here. So it shouldn't be like this. So we have to get a straight line so that y-intercept should means at any cost it should pass through this only. But with a negative slope, means this is how actually going to be. So here this is y-intercept. This is a minus 3. So this is y-intercept. From here to here is a y-intercept, that is c is equal to minus 3. And here if you can look at here, this angle is going to be greater than 90 degrees, less than 180. That is, it is a obtuse angle. So here slope is negative. Now look at the next case, that is I think it is the 7th one. Now we are doing 8th case. Look at here, 8th one. So 8th one, here slope is negative, but y-intercept is 0. So that we got y is equal to minus mx. So here just you compare with y is equal to minus 2x plus 0, you can put 0. So here m is minus 2, that is m is going to be negative, but y-intercept is 0, y-intercept is 0. Y-intercept is 0 means that particular straight line must pass through the origin. At any cost, it must pass through the origin. Look at here. So this is positive x-axis, positive y-axis, negative y-axis. Here is negative x-axis. It must pass through the origin, no doubt about it. But slope should be negative. Means what? It should be in a second quadrant only. Should be like this. So as it is passing through the origin, so y-intercept is 0. Y-intercept is 0. But what about slope? Look at here. From this here, this is how actually we should take a angle. So this is going to be greater than 90, less than 180. For that 10 values are negative, so slope is negative. So it is a graph with 0 intercept and negative slope. And the last one, look at here, the last one. The last one is if m is equal to 0 and c is negative. M is 0, c is negative. Means y is equal to minus c. So we can compare with this. Y is equal to 0 into x minus 3. So when you compare these two equations, you will come to know that here slope is 0, but c value is minus 3, that is negative. As slope is 0 means what, children? The straight line must be parallel to the x-axis, must be parallel to the, look at here, which is cutting at minus 3. So it's very, very important. And it is parallel to the x-axis. As it is parallel to the x-axis and its slope is going to be 0 and it is cutting at a minus 3. So this is a graph how we will get for y is equal to minus c. So dear children, so these are the equations of straight line. Children, it's very, very, very simple. Thing is that once you should know the concept. The two things are very important. What is the slope actually? How it can be taken? There we need to remember two things. What is that? The angle always must be taken from positive x-axis in anti-clockwise direction. That is the first point. Very much important. And next one is that what is the y-intercept? The length on y-axis which is cut by the straight line is called y-intercept. If you know these 2 points actually, no need to by heart, children. You can get it. How the graph is going to be, how the slope is going to be, whether slope is going to be 0, positive, negative, infinity. Even y-intercept, if it is 0, how the graph will be. If it is a positive, y-intercept is positive, y-intercept is negative, then how the graphs are going to be. Okay, Jason, just copy it. Children, now we'll see the 2 examples. So like this 2 graphs will begin and we have to make a straight line equation. Then how to make a straight line equation from these 2 graphs, let us see, dear children. So in this case, dear children, look at here. It is the y-intercept is how much? It is 2. It's a positive, plus 2 only. So here c is equal to plus 2 and angle, look at here. It is from positive x-axis in anti-clockwise direction. So here theta is equal to 30 degrees. As theta is equal to 30 degrees, dear children, so we know that slope m is equal to tan theta, that is tan 30 degrees. Dear children, tan 30 is equal to how much, dear children? It is 1 by root 3. So here c value we have, m value we have. So what is the straight line equation? We know that y is equal to mx plus c is a slope intercept form it is. Now substitute in that, then you will get y is equal to, in the place of m you should substitute 1 by root 3, that is 1 by root 3 x. In the place of c you should substitute plus 2, it is a plus 2. So this is the required equation for this graph. Now look at here, it is somewhat different from this actually. So this is what actual graph is given, and for this we should make a straight line equation now. We should make a equation, of course it is straight line only. Dear children, look at here. What is this? So this is actually angle theta, but this value is not given. So for suppose let us take this angle, let us take it as a alpha, something like this. Let us take a alpha. Okay, but dear children, so let us take, we know that slope is equal to tan theta. Slope is equal to tan theta. But tan theta can be written as, dear children, theta can be written as 180 minus alpha. It's very important. Theta can be written as 180 minus alpha. So it is tan 180 minus alpha. Dear children, tan 180 minus alpha is going to be minus tan theta, minus tan alpha. So now from this triangle, let us say it's a OAB. From this triangle OAB, let us say from this triangle, tan alpha is equal to opposite side by adjacent. Opposite side is 2, adjacent is 3. So it is minus 2 by 3. So here slope is equal to, we got minus 2 by 3. So this is how actually we should calculate the slope. And where it is like cutting on the y-axis at a plus 2. So here C, that is y-intercept is plus 2. Now we substitute these two values in it so that we will get here equation. So y is equal to minus 2 by 3x plus 2. So this is the equation which is required. So this is how actually we can make a straight line equation when the graphs are given. Just copy it. Now we will see the few more applications, dear children. The equations which we use regularly in our physics, which are very important. So for that we will try to make actually graph. How we will get a graph, we will see actually. First one is mirror formula. Children, what is the mirror formula? Is it 1 by f is equal to 1 by v minus 1 by u? No, it is not that. 1 by f is equal to 1 by v minus 1 by u is a it's a length formula. But whereas for a mirror formula, it is 1 by f is equal to 1 by v plus 1 by u, 1 by v plus 1 by u. But dear children, for a given mirror, focal length is constant. You can take any, what we can say, mirror addition. You can take any mirror. It might be convex mirror or concave mirror, whatever it may be, because with a single mirror only we will be repeating the experiment again and again. So it's very clear that here focal length is a constant. As focal length is constant, dear children, as f is constant. So before that, these three are positive values only, and here as f is a constant, obviously 1 by f also constant only. 1 by f also constant only. Now let us try to rearrange this equation, dear children. So can we write like this? 1 by v is equal to 1 by f minus 1 by u. Now try to compare this equation with y is equal to mx plus c. Y is equal to mx plus c is there now. Y is equal to mx plus c. So with this, just you compare this equation. Then here y is equal to 1 by v. It's very simple. Y is equal. So this, let us do little bit arrangement. This can be written as minus 1 by u plus 1 by f. Plus 1 by f. So this can be minus 1 into 1 by u plus 1 by f. How you can compare here? So y, in the place of y, it is 1 by v is there. In the place of x, 1 by u is there. In the place of x, 1 by u is there. But whereas intercept c is equal to 1 by f. C is equal to 1 by f, and whereas slope is going to be in the place of m, it is minus 1 is there. So for this, if we can make a graph, how we will get? So look at here, children. This is the origin. Here is the origin. So no doubt about it that we don't get a straight line which is passing through the origin. Why? Because there is some value for intercept. So the intercept is 1 by f. Intercept is 1 by f. So obviously we don't get a straight line. And it is in the form of, see, then you may get a wonder, sir, how can you say that we are going to get a straight line? So it is in the form of y is equal to mx plus c. So obviously we will get a straight line, but with intercept 1 by f we will get. With intercept 1 by f and with a negative slope is very much important. It is a negative slope which we are going to get. So here on x axis 1 by u we are taking, whereas on y axis we'll be taking 1 by v we are taking. Then how do we get a graph? So this is what actually we are going to get the graph. So that this is intercept 1 by f. Here is 1 by f we will get. And look at here, dear children. If you can look at here, this is going to be obtuse angle. This is going to be obtuse angle. So what can you say? The slope is negative. So dear children, this is how actually we will get a graph for this mirror formula. You might have learnt already mirror formula, but what does it represent? It represents actually straight line equation, dear children. So here we are getting a straight line, but which is not passing through the origin, dear children. So straight line with the intercept 1 by f and negative slope. So this is how actually we have to make a graph for a given formula or a given equation. Now the second one is v is equal to u plus at. Look at here. The second one is equation of motion. The second one is v is equal to u plus at. V is equal to u plus at. So this equation let us write like this: v is equal to at plus u. At plus u. Now compare with y is equal to mx plus c. Compare with y is equal to mx plus c. So here in the place of y, we have to take v, means on y axis we should take v, whereas here x is t, whereas m is a and u is if you can say it is c. So intercept is c. Look at here, children. Now if you can make a graph for this, time should be taken, on y axis v should be taken. And children, m is equal to a and it is a positive. M is equal to a and it is a positive. So as it is a m is a positive, obviously we will get a straight line such a way that the angle should be its acute. So and this is how actually we are going to get a graph. This is how actually we are going to get a straight line. So such a way that the children, so this is the intercept. C is equal to u is the intercept. This is intercept. Then you may get one doubt, sir, then how to take a slope for this? So some students, they may think that, sir, let us extend back here. But we should not extend back, because on y axis what we have taken, time we have taken. If you extend back here, the t value is going to be negative. It's not possible. It is not at all accepted. It is. So here on children, here, look at here, let us try to take angle here. So this is going to be, so make a line which is parallel to the x axis, so that here, look at this, here is an angle. So is it positive or negative? It is a theta, anti-clockwise direction, and it is a acute angle. So whenever the angle is acute, children, the tan values are positive, then the slope is positive only. So this is how actually we will get a graph for v is equal to u plus at. V is equal to u plus at. Children, the simple thing is that if an equation is given, you have to check whether it is it in the form of y is equal to mx plus c or not. If it is in the form of y is equal to mx plus c, no doubt about it, we will get a straight line only. But whether it is passing through origin or whether y-intercept is a negative, y-intercept is positive, it depends on that equation. It depends on that equation. So here in these two cases, actually two equations, in these two equations which we have taken, in such a way that intercept is 0. Sorry, intercept is not 0. That's what two equations are not passing through the origin. Now we will take Ohm's law. We will get a different result. Let us see here. Sir, for that Ohm's law. But children, for a mirror formula, we got only one graph here. And for even v is equal to u plus at also, we got a one graph only. But the very important thing is that children, for Ohm's law, we are going to get two equations actually. Sorry, two graphs which we are going to look at here. So the third one is Ohm's law. It is Ohm's law. Children, what is a mathematical form of Ohm's law? We know that it is V is equal to IR. V is equal to IR. V is equal to IR. Dear children, here actually we have two graphs. That is VI graph we have and IV graph we have. Now let us see what makes the difference between these two. It's a very, very important, dear children. So for example, first let us take here is, let us try to make here, space is the right. So here is x-axis and here is y-axis. So let us take a potential difference on y-axis first. It is VI graph. Children, we are making a VI graph first. First we are making a VI graph, so that V should be taken on y-axis and I should be taken on x-axis. So now V is equal to IR, you compare with y is equal to mx plus c. Children, this equation, can you write like this? V is equal to R into I plus 0. Yes, we can write. we can write. So it is in the form of y is equal to mx plus c only. So no doubt about it, we are going to get a straight line, no doubt about it. But dear children, if you can look at here, what is the slope here? Compare with this here. Slope is r. Compare with y is equal to mx plus c, v is equal to ri plus 0, So here y is v, x is I, then what about m? M is going to be r. So here m is going to be r, is the first conclusion. And here c is 0, dear children, y-intercept is 0. If y-intercept is 0, dear children, we must get that straight line passing through the origin only. So for this, we get a graph like this. This is how actually we get a straight line. So for this, what is the slope, dear children? For this, if you can find out slope with a slope r. So this is how actually we get a VI graph. Now we will see, dear children, IV graph. It's very important. Then how IV graph is going to be and what is the slope of that IV graph. So in this, now we will see IV graph. So IV graph, dear children. So for that, little bit modification we will do. As V is equal to IR, it is an IV graph. Let us make a I as a subject. So as V is equal to IR, can we write like this? I is equal to V by R. Of course, we can write. So this only I is equal to, we can write V into 1 by R. Can we write? Yes, of course. Then can we write R? Let us put R. So I is equal to V into 1 by R plus 0. Yes, we can. Now just you compare with this. Don't you think that it is in the form of y is equal to mx plus c? Yes. So here if you can see, dear children, in the place of means y, I is there. In the place of this, instead of writing v into 1, let us write 1 by r into v. So that here x is going to be v. Look at here, m, dear children, m is what? Slope is going to be 1 by r and y-intercept is going to be 0. So dear children, as it is in the form of y is equal to mx plus c, we will get a straight line only. And here y-intercept is 0, which means what? We will get the straight line passing through the origin. V should be taken on x-axis, dear children. Here I should be taken on y-axis. So what type of graph do we get? We'll get a graph. Straight line which is passing through the origin only. But difference is that, dear children, for this slope is going to be 1 by r. Actually, this is how actually we get a slope is 1 by r. But generally whenever we are practicing the, especially Ohm's law diagrams, especially VI graph and IV graph, just we will by heart. What is that? If V is taken on y-axis, I is taken axis, yes, slope is r only. Whereas if you will take a reverse, if you will change these V and I values and R will become reciprocal, then it will become the slope is 1 by R. But it is not that. For that, perfect method is there. So in this graphical method, dear children, we can explain why the slope of VI graph is R and why the slope of IV graph is 1 by R. So dear children, so these are the few applications of what we can say is the straight line equation. So this is how actually we have to apply the concept, dear children. So in the next class, we'll be discussing about rectangular hyperbola, parabola, so trigonometric ratios, exponential graphs are there. So those things we'll be discussing in our next class. Thank you so much. All the very best.